always been associated with his works from the very beginning, from his days in the college, when he finished college, and then of course he joined the college as a teacher. During the time of his teaching also, he was kind enough to invite me to see his works. I think one of the only artist friends who kept a very close contact with me, asking me to come home and see his works. And that's why I feel I'm a little bit indebted to him for keeping me in close touch of what he did. And that continues till today also.
Let us introduce you now to father and son, two generations of artists in the same family, R B Bhaskaran and his son, R B Murari. Bhaskaran needs few words of introduction. He is one of the initiators of the Madras movement, a movement indicative of the shift after independence in the Indian artistic consciousness. Bhaskaran is still active, painting now for more than half a century.
I communicate my skill, my thoughts, and my way of executing the work of art here. That I do not want to use repeated colors. I must have a new direction for every canvas. So my commitment to a canvas initially is an injury to the canvas, and then I suffer in order to make it comfortable, and I am happy the canvas looks good. Now I work like this. I do not know where I started, but in the process of it, the forms evolve, the textures evolve. There are works which I have taken after 10 years lapse, 5 years, because when I come back and look at it, if I find something after it's my work, and there is no law that you paint and you should not go back to your work.
So, it sounds as though you're totally immersed in the process once you begin it. Do you work on one canvas at a time, or?
I struggle with one canvas until I get out of it. I don't go to touch another one. Maybe to make my exercises, I may go to a small sheet of paper and do what kind of thing I should go on this. And this exercise may come back to support my canvas. Art is a thinker's process. I go to talk to you, I go to school, I go to talk to different personalities. That's a different phase altogether. It runs and it disconnects the moment the answer is given. But this is a process which is continuous throughout the 24 hours. It's an inspiration for me, not any individuals. I look at photographs of different families, different time and different communities. I see them as artworks in different houses. For the family which holds it, or for the society which looks at it as that documentation. To me, I look at it as a piece of art. It's two, man and woman, together. In different formats of costume, in different portrayals of environment. It's called studio portraiture. You go to a studio and take photographs before the camera, and this is an earlier style which they used to take, and this is a documentation, and I can use it as pictorial formats.
It sounds as though you undergo an association with yourself as you work. So you have to see your art objectively and often critically. But outside yourself, who have you found has helped in that process of critical re-evaluation?
A lot of them, right from the days of Charles Fabry in Delhi. They were initial supporters of art, and Natkarni from Bombay, Joseph James from here, Anjali Sarkar from Chennai. They were critical, Geeta Doctor, Ashrafi Bhagat. They were also growing along with us. So from time to time, their critical analysis have also helped me. One of the biggest things that I have in me is disconnection after few works. I make a few series of work, then I don't want to repeat it. So from life cycle towards my still life and to my cats, to the couple, all these things are at different phases. Started off with, I play with printmaking.
I've heard about that. Didn't you go abroad?
Yes, I did. And now these are etchings. I was in Portsmouth. Yeah, I was in Portsmouth on a British Council scholarship, for my post-graduation. So I did printmaking. I did a little bit of ceramics. But those were all experiments. Now, when I built my textures, it looks to me a ceramic body. Talking about the couple image, the two images there and the two, that is only to signify two, making a different glasses. But none of these things are planned. It comes in the process of it. Earlier I used to like Paul Klee, Picasso, Modigliani in terms of figuration, then the German artists, Kandinsky. So these are all inspirations from time to time. When I need a break, I go to books, look at these images to understand line, form and color, what kind of colors they use. So these are the biggest teachers for us, the history.
So you come back to almost a Freudian perspective.
Around nature, that's the only thing that exists. You do everything, ultimately these are the two things, for creation and procreations in nature. This is what I'm saying, that's not a plan at all. It's not a plan. I never wanted to do a portrait, but in the process of looking at it, I started drawing, then I found that a man is coming, so I made him a man. And not only that, I never bothered to make a man. Now I'm telling you, look at the bird head here. Why should it be there?
Another fascinating symbol, a symbol that has fascinated critics and viewers, is that of the cat. The cat is a symbol or a figure that so many different people are into, because perhaps the animal itself has so many different qualities. What attracted you to the figure of the cat?
It was only an exercise in the classroom. I was doing a demonstration of a cat inside my studio, and the people were watching me, students. And a student watched me studying. The student watched me studying the cat and making drawing. They were all behind me when I do that. So I studied them. That's on a table. The cat was quiet. It never bothered whether somebody is looking at it or it was lying there, and I keep on drawing them. For 1 week I made sketches, and then the next week I tore off these sheets of paper, put them, started large canvases, again on my own. So that transformed into a cat of my own when it became a painting of cat. So this is a short process of teaching, learning to the students.
Because the cat, as an animal, is quite unlike a dog. It doesn't need the world outside. It is quite content, quite centered within itself.
But influence is different from copy. These are two different words. Influence can be many, but when it goes inside you and when it comes out as your, a contribution towards exercise, it has to look like you. My uncle, nobody else, it's my uncle.
Your uncle was quite a...
He has taken the risk also, coming from Salem. They belong to Salem.
Yeah.
Salem, they came and with great struggle he came to Chennai with his uncle's support. He went to art school and joined. When he did, when he came out as a student, uh, he wanted to start a business, so he started a small photography in Broadway. Then slowly moved on to banner painting, and he started his career as a banner artist.
Okay.
I used to watch him paint, so I know the rudiments of making a banner, right from stretching the cloth the previous night, putting the lantern, slide into the images, and then you sketch the border outline of them. It's only the outline next day you see, and you have a photograph in your hand. The light and shade will be seen here, and you have to paint it according to the contours of the line and make a colorful picture there. So these things, these influences that came into me at the age of 9 and 10. So right from my school days, whenever I get summer holidays, I'll be there at my uncle's studio. My uncle is a big source of inspiration to go to the art school. From a banner painting, he used to make large canvases of film actors in the banners, and all his assistants loved me because I belonged to their family. So they used to teach me different techniques, right from washing brushes and making colors and putting their palettes for artists. I used to watch them. So that was my first inspiration to go to art school.
And doing the billboards or the hoardings, you must have had mastery over the line.
That is the reference here.
Exactly.
I have a drawing where I don't need any camera. I make the head, and when I make the head, along with the head I make the body, and it comes.
Yes.
But direct line. Nothing is references. And I may have changes because it's necessary to make changes. I may make changes. So these are interpretations of yourself into it.
And also having an uncle.
Yes.
If I may digress for a little, how did your uncle take the major step of going to art school? And
I think he had to fight because they come from villages in Salem. I don't know how he got into it. He ran away, and probably his sister's husband was here. He was working in railway at Seven Wells Street, and he must have chosen him. Okay, you want to join this art school? Go, I'll do this. So that is where he started.
art school like? What kind?
Under D.P. Raichaudhuri, it was a small school.
So he went. Okay.
To study under
So
Raichaudhuri.
he studied under Raichaudhuri.
Yeah.
And that's how he was the classmate of
That's
Dhanapal.
Panikkar, Dhanapal, they were all at the school at that time, under Raichaudhuri.
Lovely. It's a total.
Yes, so that was a good thing
Yes.
that they were part of, and of course during Raichaudhuri till the late 50s, art was different at the art school, and late 50s art is different again.
Your father was quite an individualist.
Tough. When I finished my high school and I wanted to go to the art school, my father took me to my uncle, said that he wants to join the art school, why don't you help him? The first thing he said is, what is there in the art school? I have done art school and I am doing a studio here. I have a big established, probably the biggest in Chennai with all the facility of promotion of advertisement of a film industry. You should send him to me. My father said, no, you have studied under Raichaudhuri in an art school formally. Let him also go and study that, and later on he can choose what he wants. After finishing again they came. Now that he has finished, send him. My father said no. Let him choose his own career. So he was tough. So it was my father's strong conviction that this boy will do on his own, made me what I am today.
Yeah, in a way.
Rebel, right from the days of my career onwards, I was a rebel saying, this is what I want. And my father said, yes, you have it. So that is a very comfortable zone in the family, that your father is trying to help you out, understand you, and never force you. Appa, this is what I want. This is the girl I want. This is the career I want. He said, go ahead, I'll support. Even when I went, 1960, when I went to the art school, the idea of going there, as my mother said, you also should become like my brother, establish a big firm of hoardings and advertising art, and you become a successful commercial artist like my brother. This was the idea. From the idea of establishing an art studio, when I went into art school, It was the beginning of the national art movement. The country after independence is looking for a new direction of art form. So at that time when I went there, they were all experimenting something new. I was totally disappointed that why did I come here? Now the school is changed. They are all looking for something different. But the movement was so strong that I put myself into it, whether it is success or failure. I joined with others, worked for it, tried to present our works from different cities like Bombay, Delhi and Calcutta. So there were a team of important teachers like Dhanapal, then KCS Panikar was the principal. Then the important teachers with a lot of energy and inspiration were Santanaraj and Munuswamy, who were painters. And they used to constantly work inside their studios. And that was the biggest inspiration for us. And then the sculptor Janakiram. There was another sculptor called Kaniyappan, who is a very good portrait sculptor. Later on he became a very well-known artist. So it was a team of good artists and teachers that shaped the Madras art movement. And we were part of it. I was traveling. I got a scholarship to go to Tel Aviv to do my first education on a scholarship. So I was in an artist village called Inhor, where the senior artists do a lot of work, and I was given a studio to work there for 6 months. Yes. From there, then I started off with this life cycle series because I was a printmaker, so I did a lot of lino cuts into printmaking. And different stages, different kind of work like oils, acrylics, drawings, paintings, prints, metal. Which medium are you the most comfortable in? Now I am comfortable with acrylics, pastels. Yeah. Now there are works like, I'll show you some of the references. See for instance here, it's a work with a multimedia technique. I use pastels, and this is a work which drives within its forces on me. I never plan it.
Yes, the use of colors
on its own.
Quite vibrant. It goes beyond mere pastel.
So all these figures are things that I have seen inside in the process of doing.
Yes, I see the figure of a man and woman.
Yes.
Again.
Yes. So they evolve within their spaces. If you have a wife who is aware of art and its struggle, art is not going to give you money every month, except that few thousand that you get from the College of Art as salary. And she knows it from her father that art is a difficult process. And that's how we made our life. Today she is happy because it's a success story. Yes. It's a full-time service that I have done.
It's a full-time commitment.
Yeah, I served as a teacher for 30 years and then I was a principal of the 2 colleges, retired. Then I became chairman of Lalit Kala Academy in New Delhi. It is. It's a process. You teach the students, you talk to the students, and perhaps the teachers, in the dialogue of your student communicating to you, you may find something. I never said I am a teacher and I am the boss, you are a slave. No. You are a thinking personality and I am a personality. Let us exchange it. If there's something coming out good for you, you take it. If it is good for me, I take it. In the process of teaching for 30 years, the studio at home is always a constant approach where I come back in the evening and I have to go to my studio, connect it to myself. And when you get a lot of experimentation works like this, then you try to exhibit it to a different place. I go to Bombay often at Jahangir Art Gallery to show my works. Then I used to show my works in Bangalore, Pondicherry, Hyderabad, Calcutta, Delhi. These interruptions are separate frames. But the one frame that is continuous for 50 years is your art. It's all through. I say it's a journey that goes into your mind all the time. You get up early in the morning, your canvas will come first. The other frames will also come. This has given me a whole life of it for 50 years. And I see a variety of new things coming up in forms of, in colors and forms. Like, it is always a canvas which drives me. I only put a body as a canvas. And it's also dimensions, different dimensions. You have an object In the front you have background and a foreground. You play with the depth of field also. Now I don't look for any formats in my works. I start off and end up in any directions. No, cinema has affected me only as far as the draftsmanship is concerned. So I know the basic thing how they do it, and that has given me the ability to draw. The draftsmanship comes from their ability to draw and paint. There are incomplete canvases where the dialogue remains half here and half there also. After some time I go, because it's my product. How can I leave it? I'll show you some of them. They're all dead. They're all sick. If there is a differences between the speaking of my work and me, then there is a break. I'll keep the work aside and leave the whole process of doing. Then I come back after a few days. I'll try to work on. If I am comfortable, if I get a feedback, I'll do on. If it is not, I'll still skip it off. Now all these works are like that. I made a work, started off doing, I try to put an image, and I'll think what kind of colors to add next, how to go about with the drawing. And similarly here, these are works, smaller formats. I made some. Sometimes there may be strong colors. If there is not full confidence, I leave them. I try with pastels. I try different medium, drawing, ink, everything is here. That canvas, it is also slowly, I started off, I'm trying to put some graphite, then I'll fix it. Now, I also see images in between two images, a shadow image coming. For instance, when I made this, I found a form of this cat, this fish coming in, and I confirmed that that's an image. So I also see the shadow space. See here, this is an image which I have made. Now I see another image within this space. You see, this is a form coming here, and this is a form by itself. And there is another form here, which is a form in between those two spaces. So you have to create the dialogue and how you move about until you say that, yes, this is a work finished. Similarly, here is a work which is almost 6 months or 5 months, and I never could go back to it.
I see.
So it remains. Here is a work which is almost maybe 15 years.
15 years. That's
Yes.
the 5 months, the one behind it, and this is.
It is there. But I'm still not confident. I'm making some images here and leaving them. Now it looks as a junk, but I have to give life to it. This is a board on which I pasted handmade papers and trying to make images, 2 images. And slowly I have drawn them and left them, because I need to choose the right form of color, weight, and it stays. For instance, here is a work which I had done in 2005. Now I have taken and restored it with little more additions to it. Now this is where I look images and starting to paint them. I got some kind of a form there which I saw there itself.
Oh.
No, earlier I was conscious of making divisions and working on. No, this is emerging because I don't want to say anything, communicate anything. The communication is me and my work. Whatever it gives me, I'll go. It may not give you a meaning. And here is another form with a man's head turning like this. So I throw paint, go away, come back, look at it. Because there's no need for communicating. You have to communicate, and you are communicating your imagination to your work of art, and it gives you a feedback. So I enjoy doing them from time to time.
We are talking to R B Murari, who is the son of R B Bhaskaran, the veteran painter. Murari is an artist in his own right. He's been painting from 13 or 14 years old. Soli Darawala has bought one of his paintings at quite an early age, and he has moved on from there.
It's just that I'm more comfortable with large canvases, and of late, at least for the last 2-3 years, I've kind of moved to a smaller space, and I've started working on a lot of paperworks. And for me, it's a completely different experience, because for me, the medium and the space has always been an influence.
I won't say Indian, I am an artist in India, and that's how it makes Indian.